Quick one. Age Politics Avenue. Onia political stores at Penny because make headlines. Now it be Akroma. Any of the Mahama Roxy Musa. Yedi Kenya. Structure which must subscribe to the channel. Hit notification bell also share. Now Afro France answer interview and can be. I will leave you comment constructively under the comment section. And the Mahama Roxy young a political training. Them enyak some to Akroma. Nenina a bring Dixie. And I'm going to say, Justice Kudia from Pong, we General Secretary, Edima, a year NPP, Amaikono. And or say, and paying for a more party minimum. Say, Omar, not a bronye, Omar, I need to ask Akuffo, say, employee NPP, and as a chairman, Emma a bron Regina, and ye, Obefan Wabi, Obe resign every party numa unia enyasem koto Accra. Na Menoka say, about 4 attracts in some able inchum. Onia, mean how I drink Casabe pre, Mr. Xem, and I'm Secrete who you know, Quorimuntino. You more once evening, now in Heniaco and Idiaba. Shannon Swam say, Age Politics Avenue.
This one with the New Patriotic Party, and the story reads: a storm is brewing within the NPP as the party's General Secretary, Justin Frimpong Kudi, has issued a stern warning to the NPP Disciplinary Committee, declaring that he will resign from his position if the party fails to take decisive action against BREAK-Abrony3, the Bono Regional Chair, over what he describes as persistent disrespect and indiscipline. According to Asempa FM, who posted the video on Thursday, November 7, 2025, Justin Kudi's statement came during an exclusive interview where he expressed deep frustration over what he called Abrony's habitual insubordination and open insult towards senior party leaders. The General Secretary said such behavior undermines the unity and credibility of the NPP, particularly as the party prepares for the next general elections. In his own words, Justin Kudia stated firmly, "It's either Abrony leaves the party or I resign as a General Secretary. I will not preside over a party where gross disrespect is tolerated." The statement has sent shock waves through the political landscape. Did you feel the waves too?
No.
Signaling growing tensions within the NPP's top rank. At least now, for the first time, I'm reading of stern words coming from the party's leadership, because for a while, all they've done is issue statements. But now there is speech associated with the statement, and the speeches. This I can say is as emphatic as
Who is the General Secretary of the party?
Justin Frimpong Kudi.
Who is the mouthpiece of the party?
He is.
Who is the Chief Executive of the party?
He is.
So who is he asking to take action against?
The disciplinary committee.
Has he made the proper and necessary
referral has been made. I recall the referral was made.
You know my position on the General Secretary. His time is overdue. He should go.
The man is
so to now come and hide behind Abrony, you are part of the reason Abrony is misbehaving. You didn't take the action at the time that you needed to take the action.
He's seeking re-election, please.
So that is the point I'm making. Because you are seeking re-election, you are now trying to show some you are firm and you are
But he's firm. He's showing he's firm here.
Now, after the party has lost a general election so massively, the party doesn't have any leadership at the party level.
Everything
you have put everything on the shoulders of a minority leader who is now having to work as leader of the opposition, properly so-called. Whether you like it or not, the burden is now on the shoulders of the minority leader.
I mean, in opposition, they have to champion the cause and ensure that the party remains
leadership
relevant.
Was strong, the kind of pressure we see on the shoulders of the minority leader, we wouldn't have been seeing, because then the leadership would come from the party, augmented by the parliamentary caucus. But you don't have leadership at the party level, and because you are seeking re-election, you are now behaving like you are firm. If you were firm, you should have shown this long ago and rein Abrony in. Abrony went insulting Kennedy Japan at a rally openly. You didn't say anything about it. If a former flag bearer and a man who is seeking to be
flag bearer hopeful.
No, a former and hopeful. Abi he was. Okay, yeah, I get your point.
Yeah.
I get your point. Thank you for the correction. So, I mean, the man has been, what's the word he used? Gross insubordination.
Yeah.
He has been like that for how many years now? And all of that under your watch as chief executive of the party. Because you are now seeking re-election, you are saying that they should deal with, who should deal with him? Who?
I'm just
He
thinking.
should just resign.
January is just around the corner. January is just around the corner.
And then we enter January.
and
I thought you were saying December.
I'm even, and then
The mind is doing tricks.
January is right around the corner, and then
So they're under 2 months, right?
Under 2 months.
2 months. No, okay, more than 2 months. Just a little above 2 months.
I just think when finally a flag bearer has been elected, what is the cohesiveness going to look like? Because as of now, peace is not reigning at all. At all. And you think, what exactly is going to happen in, 2 months or just under 2 months? Well, we live to see.
It's my preliminary comments in terms of the budget.
You say that not to the extent as we would want in terms of the GDP ratio which is being subjected or provided to education. But if we can go into a bit more of the details, we hear the minister say the government has a 2-year plan to abolish the double track system. We'll start off from there. And in achieving that plan, they're seeking to put up a number of facilities, dormitories, also raising some C-class schools to B-class schools, amongst others. Do you think this is a realistic enough target, this 2-year time frame, to completely abolish the double track system?
Okay, so to the interventions, yes, I think that in fact, the NBC promised that the first to end double track within 2 years. So 2 years should have been end of 2026. You understand? So I think it's realistic. It is realistic. The realism in it is a matter of the expediency of the strategy. What strategy is the ministry deploying? The ministry has brought in private schools who have infrastructure on use to take some people. Great. It's in piloted. We are seeing how it goes. The ministry is focusing on expanding existing schools rather than building new ones. I'm not saying they're not building new ones, but the focus is on expanding existing ones. And so expanding 10 category A, 10 category B, 30 category C, with building facilities. And then also completing abandoned E blocks, converting them into dormitories. So, this is what we recommended for government if it aims to end double track in the short term. And so, yes, it gives hope that giving expedited releases and completion of projects, double track should be able to end within the period that the ministry is projecting. It is, however, important to note, my brother, that double track is not just a function of infrastructure. We keep saying that. Okay, it's not just a function of infrastructure. Double track is also a function of a meritorious and effective school placement system. If you expand the SEC category A, expand it or upgrade their facilities, you are not necessarily adding numbers to SEC. You are actually improving the facilities because they are already overcrowded. Okay. Now, what makes double track work is that you must respect the SEC's capacity and respect the category B school capacity and not overpopulate them. So double track is not just a matter of brick and mortar, but it's also a matter of an effective and meritorious school placement system. And then third, it's a function of ensuring that all other schools that are not receiving quality enhancement or infrastructure upgrades are also put in a particular shape that enables Kofi Assare's son to accept posting to that school when they are placed there. So the number of schools the minister has said that they're going to invest in are 80. 10 category A, 10 category B, 30 category C, and then 30 abandoned E blocks, 80. That's about 10%. That's less than 10% of the total number of secondary schools and technical schools. So it means that the third function of double track ending is that for the other schools, make sure that the facilities there are put in good shape so that when people are placed there, they will not reject the posting and come and create problems in other schools that should be single track. That is how I think the approach in any double track should be. And so, yes, it is good to have 1.1 billion allocated for expanding the infrastructure, completing projects in these 80 schools. But then the other two interventions must complement so that we can meet the timelines for any double track. I'm not too sure if 1 billion cedis is enough. Obviously, it can be enough. We hope that in the media budget we'll see additional financing. We project that it will take 20 years at the rate of spending 2 billion a year on secondary education infrastructure. It will take 20 years to put all our secondary schools up to standard.
That's a long time.
Where no one will reasonably reject placement into. And so the 1 billion obviously is inadequate. We hope that amendments are made in the media budget so that we are able to end double track within the stipulated time.
Right, and I believe of the suggestions you make, one of it is seeing some of the Category C schools now being, the government says they are going to do all it can to move it from C to B, amongst many other things.
Yeah.
And you say even at this rate, it will take us up to 20 years to ensure that all of the schools are at a certain scratch.
Yes, because the Category C schools being upgraded are 30. They are 30, and that's less than 10% of the number of Category C schools we have. We have over 1,000 secondary schools. So the numbers we are intervening in are only 80. 80. You understand? But what I'm saying is that there are many schools that are not part of the 80. Okay, a school like Mozano Senior High School in Goma. You know, if you go to the school, it's like a shrine. They don't have anything. They cook in Mutia. You understand? But they are not part of this school. The point I want to make is that as you expand existing schools, build new schools, it's important that you put in shape these schools that are not being expanded so that people don't reject putting into them. Because any double track also means that if I'm placed in Mozano Senior High School, I accept. It also means that because if I don't accept and I come and cause trouble in agree on us now, then I'm creating double track. Right. So it is not just intervening in some schools to expand infrastructure. It is more about that, yes, but it also includes ensuring that the existing schools that are not being upgraded at least have the basic facilities that will not reasonably, attract anyone to reject them when placed into sale. So it is not just selecting some schools and upgrading them, but then it's also about ensuring that the existing schools have some standard facilities that not that they become attractive to people, but then people shouldn't have a reasonable basis to reject them because the facilities are so poor and inhabitable. That's how I should put it. Yeah.
Right, and the private schools which are being rolled into the free SHS.
Early days yet. I've been looking at the data from my pigeonhole, and if I have to play the devil's advocate, I will say that the impact might be marginal, because the numbers we are seeing are accepting postings there are very, very lower than expected. But again, Ghanaians have a penchant for secondary education to be burdened. Last week I was engaging my team going around. You go to a school like Kapasenpe Senior High School in the Malawale area. A STEM school, one of the new STEM schools that were built. Almost everybody is a border. The majority of the students come from the area, that part of the country. Even those who are from the town where the school is, everybody wants to be a border. People who live in Medina are borders at the second. So when you provide private free senior high school and it is exclusively day, you should know what you expect, right? Yeah. So it won't be too attractive, and so I don't want us to draw too much on that. But it's a pilot. Let's see how it goes. But what I'm saying is that insofar as it remains day, the level of attraction will be very, very low because the average Ghanaian is so interested in being a student when they get to secondary school.
Right. And I know you're big on basic education. We heard some mention or on that as well. We're seeing a number of new school infrastructure coming along in this new budget. In terms of the overall attention this budget seeks to pay to education and to a large extent basic education, are we beginning to make an improvement from what has been the case in the previous years?
For me, the pride of place given to basic education in this budget is what excites me. In spite of the budget falling below international benchmark of finance education, the pride of place given to basic education is what excites me. For the first time, we are seeing a budget allocating funds, 2 billion cedis for basic education infrastructure from GET Fund. That's over 20% of GET Fund going into basic education infrastructure alone, not basic education infrastructure alone. That is unprecedented. And why it excites me is that it falls within a carefully thought out process I see of building upon the gains made in year one. What happened in year one? In year one, the government commissioned 261 new basic school projects, one in every district, through this Assembly's Common Fund. Okay? Now, the idea was to ensure that there is, based on equity equality, everybody should get one. Now, in year two, we are monitoring these projects, okay? They started in almost all the districts. In year two, the government is saying that now we want to begin to be equitable by ensuring that we are building 200 schools. Not one in every district, but then focusing on underserved districts. So that if my district is underserved, I will end up getting about 3. Government is saying that we are building 200 kg, 200 primary, and 200 JHS. So, for example, a district like Tatale Sanguli, where only 15% of primary schools have their own junior high schools. Okay? It means that they will need more junior high schools. They might need about 20 junior high schools. Okay? While a district like Adenta will not need one, not even one, because there is parity between the number of primary schools and junior high schools. So this complementary intervention, for me, it's building upon the foundation that have been laid last year and ensuring that there's equitable distribution of equitable access opportunities for basic education. Note that the problem statement is that about 1 million Ghanaians are out of school. And you don't enter school at secondary level, you enter school at basic level. And so if we want to reduce the number of out of school children in Ghana, we should, in underserved areas, provide opportunities for equitable access, which means build new schools, build new schools where there are no schools, build new school buildings to replace schools under trees and dilapidated structures, so that the environment for learning and teaching will be attractive. And so if you add the two, it means that if the government is able to implement these as announced, by the end of the second year, we would have had 461 new basic school projects completed.
Right.
That would have been equivalent to how many basic schools we built in the last 8 years. So I see the budget, though not meeting the minimum funding norms per UNESCO's benchmark, being heavy on basic education infrastructure, and it's exciting me. Beyond that, I see a trend too, again, including basic education. And I also see one of the recommendations we make to political parties during the electioneering campaign in our manifesto engagement with their education manifesto committees, that we should begin to build teacher accommodation as part of the school education infrastructure. For some years now, teacher accommodation has been relegated to MPs. If an MP wants to do something, the MP will choose to do the teacher accommodation. For the first time in many years, I'm now seeing a deliberate effort. 400 new teacher accommodation blocks to be built. That is very, very, very significant. And so, to the extent that this teacher accommodation will be built in deprived areas where people don't want to accept persons to, solve a huge problem of teacher retention and teachers accepting posting into deprived communities. And so we on our part are always to ensure that we monitor. Oh, I nearly forgot. There's a similar intervention to provide toilets. Just last week, I was at the PAC as a friend of the PAC and to discuss, among others, reports, including the Auditor General's report on toilets in basic schools and secondary schools in Ghana. In March this year, Edward conducted a field survey in 14 districts. About a third of our basic schools do not have access to toilet facilities, even in urban areas. There's a school in Pantai Hospital. There's a school in Pantai, at the Pantai Hospital there. The school does not have a toilet facility. So most students have to eat themselves in a nearby bush. I won't talk about teachers, but it's obvious. The point I want to make is that an intervention to provide 400 toilet facilities for existing schools is laudable because many of our schools do not have water and sanitation facilities. It makes the schools unhygienable. It affects especially girls' retention in school. And so we welcome this basic education.
We ain't some of the course watching on so Mamma so Jimmy Awada Sene say Obadi Adumi Adumini, in some room, not a fee and small acquaintance of crowd.